Hi, I'm Whitney Morgan, Hashimoto's coach, functional medicine practitioner, and I'm co-founder of the Functional Health Alliance. So in March of this year, the American Heart Association released a study with an alarming headline. It said 8-hour time-restricted eating linked to a 91% increase in cardiovascular death. Now, as you can imagine, this caused a lot of concern. And I received multiple messages from clients and colleagues asking for my take on the study. Now, first, let me clarify that time-restricted eating and intermittent fasting, these are terms that are used interchangeably, and both refer to patterns where the first meal of the day is delayed for a set period. So they're kind of the same thing. Now, in today's video, I'll share my honest opinion on this March study, along with the do's and don'ts of intermittent fasting as a health tool. But before we jump into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so you'll get notified the next time I post a new video. Okay, now into the study. I have a few concerns and criticisms of this study. First, the study relied on participants' self-reported dietary habits. And many researchers consider this method unreliable because most people are prone to misremember what they ate and when they ate it. I mean, think about it. Can you recall with any accuracy what you ate 2 weeks ago and at what time of day you ate everything? Most people can. Now, the second issue I have is that the study didn't account for the quality of the participants' diets. So were they eating a standard American diet, a Mediterranean, paleo, low fat, low carb, right? There's a big difference between someone practicing intermittent fasting on a nutrient-dense, whole food diet versus someone eating a fast food diet with lots of processed meals while also skipping breakfast. Big difference between those two things. Okay, the third issue I have is that the study also failed to consider the participants' health status, like their exercise routines, their sleep quality, stress levels, previous diagnoses, right? I mean, were some of them pre-diabetic? Did some of them have high blood pressure? Those kinds of things. Those weren't part of the study. They weren't taken into consideration. And these are all critical factors when assessing the impact of any diet. So the bottom line, while the headline grabs attention, the study itself offers little meaningful insight. Now, this is my personal opinion. This is not medical advice. But if you've been following me for a while, you know that I do believe that intermittent fasting has extraordinary health benefits, potentially, for people with Hashimoto's and various autoimmune issues. It's also shown to have benefits for those with insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and systemic inflammation. Now, if you want to learn more about the benefits of intermittent fasting, then go ahead and check out my previous videos. But for now, let's talk about the do's and don'ts of time-restricted eating. So first, let's talk about who should not practice time-restricted eating. Basically, pregnant individuals, children, those folks who are underweight, definitely need to avoid this practice. It's also unsuitable for people with a history of eating disorders, low blood pressure, or an irregular heartbeat. And if you have any chronic illness, or if you're experiencing extreme fatigue, this probably isn't the best practice for you unless you are under medical supervision. Now, assuming you're a good candidate and you have no contraindicated health issues, what should you do when attempting intermittent fasting? Well, if you're new to this, I would give yourself a 4 to 12 week transition period, depending on your current diet. If you're eating a standard American diet, I recommend transitioning to a paleo or a primal template, spending about 8 weeks being on paleo, maybe a little bit more, before you start transitioning into intermittent fasting. Now, if you're already following a whole food, nutrient dense diet, then the transition to intermittent fasting is going to take less time, but I still suggest paleo as a strong foundation. Once you've successfully transitioned into time-restricted eating, there are a few simple tips to improve your outcomes. First, drink plenty of filtered water during fasting periods and consider electrolytes as needed. Second, avoid intense exercise and focus on gentle activities like walking and yoga. And third, during those eating windows, prioritize whole, unprocessed, nutrient-dense foods. Now, lastly, be flexible. Listen to your body. Your eating window doesn't need to be the same every day. For example, if you had a poor night's sleep the night before, you're probably going to need to break your fast a little bit earlier the next day. Similarly, increased physical activity or increased stress or just feeling unwell, a little under the weather, might require you to adjust your eating schedule accordingly. But by following these guidelines, intermittent fasting can be a powerful tool to support your health goals. So I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you think might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications when I post future videos. And of course, if you have questions, please leave them for me in the comments. I do try my best to answer each one. See you next time. Bye.